Welcome back to Studio South Africa. I'm Nicky Nash as always, and yes, I am tired, but I'm here with another review. Today we have the Kia Sportage, but before I speak about the Kia Sportage, you know exactly what I'm going to say, unless it's your first time here. But if it's your first time here, it's going to be your first time going to where I'm sending you. So, what is Change Cars? Change Cars online platform. You can buy, sell your vehicle, and inquire about a vehicle. So, for example, you know my example. If you don't know it, you're going to know it today. If you have the previous generation Kia Sportage, you can go to Change Cars, tell them you have this Kia, so mileage, all of that. You're looking to buy the new one. They'll tell you, no, keep your Kia. There's no need to buy the new one. Or they'll tell you, no, you know what? Sell your Kia, buy the new one through Change Cars. Nowhere else, man. Change Cars. So, yeah. That is the Kia and that is Change Cars. So let's speak about the look of the car in front. And I know you guys are not looking at me, you're looking at this boomerang type LED daytime running light. And honestly, up front, it is amazing. It does look beautiful. So what I like about those cars is that these lights, they look very beautiful. And then the indicator would have been much greater if these lights were also the indicator. So in this instance, the indicator is somewhere there. So it's nice, but it could have been better. So Kia, I hope you're listening. For the facelift, make this the indicator as well, like how in the Nissan Qashqai the daytime running light is the indicator. I like that about the car as well. So here, moving on here, this is where the grille starts, but this part is closed off like an electric car, and then it opens up over here, same effect going to on the right hand side, left hand side to you. Then down here, literally I like how it looks over here. Then the fog lights as well look amazing up front, especially in this color. I'm not sure if I'd buy them in this color. I've seen the blue one. I think that's where my heart is leaning more, but this color looks fine with this weather. Gloomy weather, the blue, the green stands out. Sunny days, the blue is the one to go for. But I've told you about the front. I've run around the front for you, but let's actually move on to the back, and then we'll speak about the differences as well of those specific one, because this is the EX. Then there's the GT Line Plus, and GT Line S on top of this one. So we'll speak about the differences, and yeah, let's move to the back and let me show you. Moving on to the back of this vehicle. The back, honestly, Vaughn, my photographer, knows. He loves this vehicle from the back. I love it from the front. The back is my least favorite part of this vehicle. But like, you know, looks are subjective. So he likes it, I don't like it. So it goes to show you that looks are subjective. So the back, they've kept it simple. I said this in my Haval GT review that I don't like too much littering. So for instance, this car, Kia sign, that you know the Kia, and it tells you what Kia it is. In the Haval, it rides Haval, and then it rides H6, and then it's an all-wheel drive. So this is a front-wheel drive vehicle. It's a 1.6. So Kia didn't go the extra length of saying front-wheel drive EX Plus and all that. So I like it less movement here at the back, the better, honestly. So Sportage, Kia, those two important things. Tell me the brand of the car and tell me what car it is within that brand. So I like the rear of that over here because it looks very simple, but it does look very futuristic front and back. So I've showed you the back, the lights are there. The only thing that it doesn't have, and I think Kia will be, for the facelift to definitely do something about it, is the light bar. As a colleague of mine, Kumbi M on Cars, he says, if you don't have a light bar these days, then what are you doing, my brother? So Kia, there's Kumbi's words. So I think the facelift will come with the light bar. Honestly, I wish it did have a light bar, but yeah. Honestly, that's just it from the back. I'm gonna tell you now the differences from this one. This is the EX. So below this one, there is the normal one, the normal Kia Sportage. Then there's the EX, which is this one. This is more or less the main specification. Then there's the GT Line, then there's GT Line Plus, then there's GT Line S. So from the outside, the only thing you're gonna see from outside, the difference is the wheels. Those wheels are 18-inch alloys, so they're in one color. On the GT Line S and GT Line Plus, they're different type of design. Kumbi actually has the top of the range of those vehicles, so actually head to his platforms and see how that one looks. And then from the outside, the wheels are different, and obviously if you look at the top, this one doesn't have a glass sliding panoramic sunroof. The GT Line, top of the range of this one, GT Line S, has that. But the main things are honestly inside. So let's get inside. Let me show you the interior, and then we'll speak about 3 things I don't like and 3 things I do like about the car. So come join me inside. Let me show you the vehicle and tell you the differences. Now you join me inside the interior of this vehicle, and honestly, being here is the best thing about this vehicle, besides obviously the front for me, but the look of the vehicle here up front. So Firstly, where I'm sitting, very comfortable. These seats are amazing. These seats feel much better than a car that costs 100,000 more than this, and that's the Haval HGV that we currently also have on test. So interior-wise, this is the best. Out of the cars I've had, is the best in terms of the feeling, except for the Nissan Qashqai front seats are just amazing. Those ones, that Napa leather is insane. So when I think about this being the mid specification, now I think of the GT line S, the top of the range of this vehicle. How do those seats feel? Because I know the design is something along like this, but the feeling, because this is part leather and fully cloth down here, and then the top of the range is part cloth and fully leather in other areas. So that's the difference, but the seats feel amazing. Over here, basically looking like this is amazing. I like this design, how they've integrated this whole thing into one. So obviously looks wise, personally I prefer this one over the Havals and the Nissan Qashqai. The Nissan Qashqai had a very big screen over here, but they lagged behind in terms of their instrument cluster, still using analog, and I don't like that. They could have done more effort in that. So Kia actually went the whole way. So this nice curved LED full screen. So the difference between this one and the top of the range is that over here, same thing. Then over here you have more, like you can play around with your driver's display, whereas here you stuck with this one, which is fine. Honestly, it's still digital, not analog. I like that about the vehicle. And then over here, this is actually a party trick. So as you can see right now, it's climate control. And you guys know how much I don't like climate control in the infotainment system. This one, I don't mind it because it's not in the infotainment system, although it is touchscreen, but it's simple touchscreen, simple touchscreen. So then you press off there. So now the party trick I mentioned is that you can actually do this. You see now, you see climate control. Now you're asking yourself, if you want to change music or increase the volume, where's the volume knob? Honestly, just compress here, everything changes. Then there's your volume knob, and then down, 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 music is playing. So yeah, then there's home, phone, seek, track, the radio, media, and then if you want your air conditioner again, you press that. I'm a gimmick sucker for this thing. Even Vaughn himself is a sucker for this thing, so I like that about the car. I also like how you have normal USB and Type-C charging, and then on the seats you have Type-C charging here, Type-C charging on the seats, not here but on the seats. So honestly, the interior is amazing. Down here, as you can see, this gear lever, that's the difference with the top of the range. So this one you have a gear lever. Top of the range you have a rotary knob where you can go park, drive, and all of that. And then here you have heated seats, passenger and driver, and a heated steering wheel. And then there's two empty spots here. So in the higher specifications, you have ventilated seats. That's the difference. And what I like about this vehicle, for this price, in getting heated seats, heated steering wheel, electric seats for the driver and passenger, and something I'm sure you guys didn't know and didn't expect it to have is actually heated seats at the back. Like rear seats have heated seats, and the rear seats, the spacious one too. It feels good, feels much better than the Havals that I've driven. I'd rather be in the back than in this vehicle than in the Haval. So I've told you quite a handful actually. Also, you can actually control this seat in the top of the range, not this one. So with a button on the side, I think you guys, if you are car enthusiasts, you will know about that. But I've told you a handful. There's a lot I covered. So now it's time to talk about 3 things I like and 3 things I don't like. And you know how we do it this side, we speak about the bad. And number one, I think it's obvious because I didn't mention it in my review. As you can see me, I'm stepping out. So number one, let's go to the back. Like about this car? Yeah. You guys answered it for me. I'm not going to tell you. That's number one. Number two, come through. So now the second thing I don't like about this car is this gear lever. It feels like I'm in a jet, but that's not why I don't like it. What I don't like is the fact that I have a gear lever, whereas on the top of the range vehicle I have a rotary knob. So I don't get how they have 2 different things for the same vehicle but different specifications. So I felt they could have just put it right through the whole model range like how Haval does it. And yeah, that's the second thing I don't like. Third thing I don't like, honestly, there is no third thing I don't like. I'll be nitpicking. So now time for the good stuff. Good stuff. Number one, up front. Let's go. Good stuff. Number one, what I like about this car, the first thing is obviously the look of this car in front. So futuristic. The lights, amazing. The fog lights, the color as well. In this gloomy weather, I like it in this gloomy weather. That's the first thing I like. Second thing I like about this car, let's get inside. Let me tell you. Now, the second thing I like about this vehicle is the seats. They feel so good, they're very comfortable, and these are not the top of the range seats, imagine. So I like these seats, and I also like how it feels at the back. I also have heated seats at the back. The second thing I like about this car. The third thing I like about this car, and honestly, it has to be the drive of the vehicle. It drives so nicely, it drives much better than many vehicles I've actually driven. So speaking of drive, let's do my driving impressions and then my recommendation. Let's get it. Now you join me inside the Kia Sportage for my driving impressions of this vehicle, and honestly this car drives amazingly. It handles the road so well, the road imperfections, it handles it quite good for what the car is. And the vehicle is a bit smaller in terms of like looks from the outside compared to the predecessor. So power wise over here, it's a 1.6 turbocharged engine. So power wise looking at 132 newton meters, 132 kilowatts, my mistake, and 265 newton meters of torque. And honestly those cars' power figures seem understated. And when I say understated, because I had the Haval GT last week, before this review, or yeah, 2 reviews before this, and that one had 155 kilowatts and 325 newton meters of torque. The torque on the onset, the Haval, you feel it, but those cars, wow man, I feel like the torque figure and is understated, honestly, because it gives the power so good. The only difference I'm really feeling from this and the Haval is that this is front wheel drive, and the noise of the Haval, this one is very quiet, very refined. So you're not missing much in terms of power. The power delivery in this vehicle is on point with that DCT 7-speed gearbox it has on. So you know DCTs, they do jerk a bit. So with this vehicle, if you're on an incline, for example, and you playing with the throttle or just lightly off the throttle, when you do put your foot heavily on the throttle again because you're trying to get it into that torque band or turbo band where it does tend to light up his front wheel, or it does tend to jump a bit forward. So something I don't like about the car, but honestly the car to drive, you cannot fault it. Honestly, it feels so good being inside. The way it feels, it makes sense why it looks so beautiful. It looks so beautiful and it feels so good to be inside. And honestly, fuel efficiency is also a very good thing. The lowest we've managed to get it down to 6.0 liters per 100 k's, and the claim fuel efficiency, I'm sure it's around somewhere there, but I'll put it on the screen what Kia's claim fuel efficiency. And I personally, on highway cruising, I averaged 6.0, literally 6.0. And city driving, residential driving, like what I'm doing right now, I've been playing around the early 7s. Right now I'm on 7.2. So the car is a good vehicle. And speaking of it being a good vehicle, I need to speak about those 3 things. Do I like the car? Would I buy the car? Would I recommend the car? And you guys know how it is. We never do those things when you're inside the car, unless I started the video from inside the car, but I was outside the vehicle. So let's get out the car and let me tell you, do I like the car? Would I buy the car? And would I recommend it? So on to my recommendation. Let's get it. Now, those 3 important questions. Do I like the car? Would I buy the car? Would I recommend the car? Number 1, do I like the car? Yes. Number 2, would I buy the car? Yes. And I'll explain why. The third thing, would I recommend the car? Definitely. So in terms of would I buy the vehicle, so this car, you're looking at 593,000 rand, so just under 600,000 rand. And for the way this car feels, the way this car drives, and the way it looks as well, and how Kia's prioritized the main things in the vehicle, honestly, it's one of the best cars in its segment, this specific one. I'm not speaking about the top of the range, because the top of the range jumps easily to 733,000 rand, so that's expensive, and it's a debate. So I'll speak to Kia South Africa that I get the top of the range one and do a review on that one and tell you, is the 130,000 rand extra worth it? But honestly, this vehicle, I would recommend it. If someone came to me and said, Nikki, my budget is 600,000 rand, what car would you say I'd look at? I'll tell you, obviously, look at the Kia. It's my number 1 pick. The second one will obviously be the Haval H6, the starting one, not the one that I have right now, the hybrid, or the GT line that I had on test a week ago. But honestly, this one, I'd say highly recommend. So now, obviously, you guys know, you guys want that answer. Out of the 3, which one is my pick? So I've had the Nissan Qashqai, I've had the Haval GT, and I've had this one. And value for money, speaking purely of value for money, out of those 3, value for money, this is the one I'd go for. So now there's one left, and that's the Haval hybrid. So now the question is, can the Haval hybrid show why it's close to 100,000 rand more than this vehicle? And I will tell you, and if it's worth the close to 100,000 rand extra. But otherwise, I've showed you everything about the car. I've told you about the Kia. I'm Sportage. I like it. Vaughn loves it. And yeah, from City South Africa, Vaughn and I, we're signing out. We'll see you in the next one. And the next one is, let me think. I think it's the Haval review. That or Suzuki media launch. Yeah, one of the two. We'll see which one goes first. But yeah, that's what's next. Bye.